Okay, thanks, Jenny. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2020 Fias Alliance member meeting. I'm Alan Gibson. I'm chair of the Passive House Alliance US, also known as the Fias Alliance, which we'll discuss a little later. And I am just put together a few words about the state of Fias and Fias, a little overview of 2020. Things for the Alliance are really good now after a rough patch in the spring. In March, COVID struck, sending Fias folks out of their office to work from home and forcing a redesign of its training curricula to be all virtual. Both Kat and Mike Knezovich came down with COVID-19 and had lengthy recoveries. Bianca Joseph, our constituent coordinator, tendered her resignation in March. Mike Carnages, co-founder of Fias, moved on to other endeavors. It seemed the challenges would not end. The Alliance Council soldiered on, but without staff support, you probably noticed a dearth of activity over the airways. We were in a reorganization mode, and it took a little time to get back on track, but things improved greatly as the year went on. Roles were assigned at Fias, new, really talented people were hired to fill needed positions. The training curricula was redesigned with a lot of hard work and great results, and the certification and training numbers continued to grow. On the Alliance side, we interviewed a few candidates for the constituent coordinator position, and the clear standout was Jenny Eber. Jenny started in early August and put her many talents quickly into play. Jenny has a background in nonprofit management and promotion with membership-based groups. She's a great knack for social media and PR. I hope you've noticed the uptick in events that's been coming through the Fias newsletter as we work to produce great content and reach out to our members and the whole Passive House community. Of course, another fallout of the pandemic was our annual conference, the major event of the year. It was the first time the conference had been announced a year before at last year's conference that it would be happening this year in Tarrytown, New York. That event is still on the books for the same time in the same place in 2021. With some luck and some vaccines, we hopefully will all be there. In place of the conference, though, Fias put together the Week of Hootenannies, starting with builders and moving through educators, architects, developers, and ending with the design awards. I wanted to give a big shout out to Tessa Bradley for her masterful emceeing with comedy monologue, which is unheard of in Fias history. Plus, it was a fantastic array of projects in the design competition. So I'm feeling really good about the future of Fias and the Alliance. It seems the goal of making Passive House mainstream is moving forward at a steady pace. The amount of certified square footage continues its exponential rise. I can remember just a couple of years ago reaching the milestone of 1 million certified square feet. And it seems last time I looked, we were at least 4 million, which is amazing. The vast majority of this is coming from multifamily projects, which is great. But at the same time, the numbers for single family have gone down significantly. Given the fact that there are 213 million single family homes versus 38 million multifamily units in the US, I'd like to try to refocus on getting more single family units certified. To that end, Fias has introduced the 2021 Fias Plus standard, which will have a prescriptive path to ease the certification burden. Qualifying projects will not require a CPHC or a WUFI model, but instead will use window wall ratios, prescribed U values, and other metrics for the envelope to determine compliance. Fias continues to work to fold Passive House into an ASHRAE standard, state building codes, and funding mechanisms. And given the number of non-Passive House existing homes, I'd like to see Fias take a leading role in the Passive House retrofit movement. There are some big players and longtime Fias colleagues like RMI getting involved in that, which is very exciting. And of course, there's always the increased urgency to turn the carbon equation around. And I see Fias as a leader in this effort. As its membership arm, the Fias Alliance's role is to bring in more members, disseminate more top quality information and excitement in the Passive House community. So thank you all for being part of this, for attending tonight's event, even without the free food and drinks, and for all you do in your Passive House work. Thank you very much to the Fias Council, the Alliance Council. And without further ado, let's move on to the rest of the meeting. We're going to hear more details about some of the things I've mentioned, and we're also going to have a chance for small group conversations. A big part of the point of this meeting is to hear from all of you members, which I'm really looking forward to. And so now back to you, Jenny. Thanks.
Everyone, thank you, Alan. Well said. And I would love this opportunity to introduce myself. I've met a few of you, and I'm really excited to meet more of you. I have a nonprofit background, as Alan said, and I've been working on boosting some of the member enrichment activities. I really want to hear from you. I want to help put on programs that are interesting to you. So reach out to me when you have a problem, when you have an idea. And I can't wait to spend more time with members and learn more about what you guys are working on. Back to Alan.
All right, real quick, just looking at membership in Fias. The numbers, as you can see, are continuing a steady step up. We're at whatever that number is, 900 or something, 700 and whatever. Don't do math in public. 33. That's good. And with this year, if you want to, the next slide, please. This is broken into new free members, which means people who have taken a certification training course get a free membership in Fias for the next year. So I think the goal is to maintain those members so they renew the next year, and obviously to retain and to encourage more new paid members. Certifications, as I mentioned, so from October of 2019 to October of 2020, certified more than 440,000 square feet, pre-certified more than 1.2 million square feet. And the year before that, it was even bigger numbers. So total pre-certified, 3.5 million, total certified, 1.795. So put them both together. When the pre-certified gets certified, that's over 5 million, right? Yeah. So that's huge number, which is awesome. Trained 2,314 new CPHCs. No, that's total, right?
Total.
Trained and certified. So of those who trained, 1,498 passed the test. We have 142 certified raters. We can use more raters if you know people who might be interested in that. Raters and verifiers. I think there might be a training that's coming up, or there may have just been one. And builders, 841 have been trained, 510 certified. I know there's also a big need for builders as well. So that continues with Dan Whitmore leading that charge very capably. Next slide. And speaking of Dan, he is our treasurer. So he's going to say a few words about the finances.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here today. It's pretty exciting developments. As Alan said very well, there's a lot of challenges from starting out 2020, but we're doing really quite well. So Fias as an entity is on very sound financial footing, as is Fias as an entity. We're doing, we've weathered this storm quite functionally. The Fias staff and Jenny have done tremendous amount of work working remotely. So we're projects are still rolling in, memberships are still rolling in, so we're doing quite well in general. As you know, the major expense we have as an organization is our staff, and which is great. We do have some upcoming expenditures, including a CRM. So we're all going to have, all the professionals in the group will have a methodology, which Jenny's going to go over in a little bit, for working on our projects, working on our professional status, working on our CEUs, those sorts of things. So we're spending a little bit of money to make that flow better for you as Fias members. And we're also looking at investing in the website redevelopment, which is going to be coming up next year as well. So we're going to be spending some monies on those. The other major expense we have as an entity is the grant program, which we'll be going into later. Membership monies, we're keeping them flat for the foreseeable future. So no increase in membership fees, because I think we're doing quite well there. Regarding chapters, we've got every council meeting, we have a report back to your regional rep regarding the funds in any individual chapter's account. I would like to call out for a moment that we would like to institute a moment whereby dormant chapters are able to, the organization is able to utilize the dormant chapter funds which are currently in those individual chapters' accounts. So a dormant chapter is a chapter which does not currently have the required officers. Those are president and treasurer. And we need those individuals in place in order for a chapter to access its funds, which are in that chapter's bank account. Certain chapters, including my own in Portland, Oregon, do not have those current roles, so we're not able to access those funds. So in 2021, we will be instituting a new policy whereby dormant chapters need, we're going to work with you to establish the necessary officers to get your organization up and flowing and access to the funds in your account. And if after 2021, you aren't able to establish that, then what we'll do is we'll take the account will go to a minimum balance account, and those funds will flow back to the overarching organization. And that organization can then use those funds for the grant program itself. So we can utilize the funds that are sitting in those accounts for organizational activities. This is not meant to be punitive, but it's meant as a methodology to access the monies that you as members have contributed to the organization. So first and foremost, we want to encourage all dormant chapters to become active chapters. And secondary to that, we want to be able to utilize those funds for the organizational activities. If anybody has any questions on that, you can write to me directly, or we can take some moment now or later in the meeting to discuss it. And that's it for me, unless there's any questions.
Thanks, Dan.
So I guess I'm up, right?
Yes, you, Mary.
Good evening, everyone, or good afternoon, wherever you are. So I'm Mary Rojero, and I'm going to talk about the Fias Alliance grant program, which we started last year. So the discussion that we had on the council was that we, as the Fias group, had a pretty good amount of money in our accounts. And what we really want to do with that money is to make sure that we're giving membership value, right? And so we know that some chapters might struggle a little bit, not have enough members, or people are trying to start a chapter. And so we looked at this money as a way of creating opportunities in which people could get some more initiatives going and supported in their areas. So what we offered in the grant program was two sort of levels. The first one was up to a $2,000 grant, and these were matching funds in which you had to be a chapter in good standing to qualify for access to those funds. And then those funds would be used to support any activity that you wanted. The other aspect of the fund was a $500 grant in which it did not have to be matching funds, but that was available to any member in good standing who might be in an area that that didn't have a chapter, wanted to do some sort of promotional thing. Other than that, we didn't have a whole lot of guidelines because we wanted to be open to see what kind of proposals that we got. I think we ended up with less than a dozen, but some of the proposals we didn't feel were within the framework and the guidelines of really supporting the members in general and kind of promoting the organization. And so, but we did have two, Hudson Valley and Chicago, I think we had, right? That qualified for the up to $2,000 grants. And I think we have representatives here from those areas to be able to talk, maybe not Chicago.
Not Chicago, but John's here to talk about Hudson Valley.
Okay, so I'll let John take over then. And other than to say that we plan on doing the same thing in 2021. So if you applied and either didn't get a response from us, and if you didn't, I apologize, but we had, I think some of these might have come in when we were in transition between Bianca and Jenny, or COVID. So if we didn't respond to you, please reach out so that we can make sure that you didn't get lost in the cracks. But we will continue this program next year as well. And so, yeah, John, take it away.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you guys. Hi, I'm John Loescher, on the board of the Hudson Valley chapter, and I'm your Northeast representative. So I just want to report briefly on the grant that we applied for the Hudson Valley chapter. We are largely based out of about an hour and a half north of New York City, and kind of like pretty centrally located in New York. And for a while, we really struggled with reaching more people within New York. We have a very strong chapter in our local area. And we saw this opportunity, especially with the pandemic, it kind of worked out being more virtual because we were able to reach a lot more people. But in order to do that, we needed some help. So we applied for the chapter match grant and received that grant. And with that, what we were able to do is bring on a marketing assistant, Lauren Berg, who's been just incredibly helpful, both managing our social media accounts to help repost larger Fias and Fias announcements, as well as a lot of our local initiatives as well. So just in the past two quarterly meetings that we have, we were able to really increase the amount of participants by almost double what we typically would get. We're now reaching a lot more people in the metropolitan New York area, as well as Western New York and further upstate New York. So it's been incredibly successful, and we're starting to look at how it's impacted some of our followers in social media. We've already doubled our Instagram followers. We're getting a lot more openings on our emails. So in general, just over the past few months with Lauren on, it's been very, very successful. So thank you to Lauren for all your efforts. That's the majority of the grant. And then of course, along with that, there are upgrades to accounts and things like that. So it's just really helped smooth things out in a really big way for us.
Great. Thanks, John. Alan, I think it's back to you.
Yeah, just a couple of other things I wanted to follow up on what Dan was talking about with chapters, to say, the idea behind chapters originally was that we'd have ways for people in, regions to get together to talk about their regional differences, climactic differences, how things are designed. It's a big country, obviously, so things are different. You design differently in Boston from Austin. And now that we're all in this remote world, we just wanted to let people know that if they wanted to be part of a chapter, it's easier to do it now. You don't have to drive a long way to a meeting. You could do it remotely. So we want to encourage anyone who wants to become part of a chapter to maybe pick the one that's closest to where you do your work, and get in touch with us, and we can put you in touch with people in that region. Every region in the country has a regional representative that's on the Fias Council. So we can put you in touch with them and get you connected. So that's one thing. Also want to mention partner agreements, which are agreements with like-minded organizations around the country. The agreement is it's not a binding agreement, but it encourages interaction between Fias and the organization. And we have a number of those around the country. Vermont Passive House is a partner organization. Maine Passive House. There are one in Massachusetts. There are quite a few around, and we want to also encourage those kinds of relationships. So if you're part of a group that might be interested in that, please talk to us. And also, there are some, there's activity. There's a new chapter forming in Worcester, Mass. So if you're anywhere near Worcester, Mass, and want to be part of a new forming chapter, that's another opportunity. All right, so next slide, Jenny, on to your work.
So I don't know if anyone has noticed, but there's a little bit of rebranding going on. Fias and Fias can be a little bit confusing for people who are unfamiliar or even people who are on the executive council of the Alliance. So we are doing a little bit of not a little bit, actually, we're starting the steps to rebrand. Use Fias as in Prius, Alliance instead of Fias. So it's the Fias Alliance. I have full style guide that I will make available to everyone in the member portal, which is something I'm encouraging that everyone to use in a little bit of a wind up for our CRM transition that Alan briefly touched on. So instead of talking about Fias, we talk about Fias Alliance members, a Fias Alliance event, the Fias Alliance annual member meeting, of which you are all a part of. So just start thinking about it that way. We will get new logos for everyone and chapters. There'll be new signatures coming out in, I believe, early 2021. Any kind of paperwork that you're worried about, Fias will take care of that. If you have questions, email me, but just brace yourself. The Fias Alliance is taking over for Fias, and it's going to be great because it's all the same people. So let me know. Again, this should be really easy, and we will provide all of the logos and any kind of imaging that you need to update to match the rebranding. Fias is also going to go through a little bit of rebranding. So everyone's just going to be at the same step. Also, we are getting a new CRM, which means that there will be a new member portal. And I'm hoping, not hoping, knowing that something that looks like this is a mock-up of the system that we'll use, will make it easier for everyone to access the information that they need. This is a really big dashboard. There's a lot going on here. When it's in a final version, it'll look a lot more like Fias Alliance or Fias branding. But one of the things I want to point out, if you can see my mouse, is that you'll be able to manage your projects. So you have to think of the member portal now, instead of that place where you go on and get lost, as a one-stop shop for everything Fias Alliance related. You can check upcoming events. You'll be able to check your CEUs. You can understand your membership status, any kind of certifications, and know about your project status. So any kind of training will be posted in here. You can search the database. We're going to bring back the forum in a better, I guess, instance, so it's easier to use and easier to connect. But something new is coming. And again, this will be the purpose, all intents and purposes, is to make it easier as a member and as someone who's participating in Fias to access the things that you need. Resources, guidebooks, all of the webinars and the registrations will also be housed in this new CRM and this member portal. And you'll be able to log in and have a dashboard and know where to go. So it'll be a little bit easier. That is also rolling out in 2021. We've already started working on it. And things are going really well. And this is something I'm really, really excited for, because I know that our current system is not working and we really need to upgrade and get ready to go. So members will be able to use it, and also Fias staff will use it. So there'll be a lot more synergy and connection, and everyone can be on the same page and maybe use Dropbox a little bit less. And I think that's it for me. Does anyone have any questions? I'm a little bit afraid of the questions, but I'll open it up for a second.
On the website, is there any change to what the public will see when you're not a member?
Oh, that's a great question. We are planning a change in the website. I know it's long overdue. We all know it's long overdue, but we're going to finish the CRM first, and then we'll move on to the website. But there is active talk. It is coming. We will all see it soon. But I don't have any dates, but it is coming. Anyone else?
There's a question, Seth Wiley. Did you want to ask your question? Ooh. Hey, Seth, your audio we're having trouble with your audio.
Oh, is that better? Maybe
That's better, yeah. Sound like you were
sorry, wrong device.
you were sucking on some helium there or something. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's later.
Okay.
I was just seeing on the dashboard here, there's a forum tab, which would be kind of cool. I was just wondering if if there was any kind of passive house like organized discussion, like a Slack space or Yammer or like Discord, you know, somewhere for persistent threads, knowledge sharing, yada yada.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong because I am new, anyone on the council, that the forum used to serve that purpose, and that's what we're hoping to do now, is to kind of bring it back for that space.
Yeah.
There have been some attempts to like start a Slack channel to try to reinvigorate the forum, the existing forum, but they've not succeeded. So this, yeah, I think that incorporating it into this dashboard is a good way to increase the chances that that'll happen again.
Gotcha.
All right. And
Cool. Thanks, Jenny.
thanks.
One question, will there ever be a phone line with a warm body at the other end?
If you call our current line, it does go to message, but Steven, who's our office manager, will call you back or send it to me and I will call you back. But we are working very hard on improving the customer service because we know it has not been great, and the connection. So if there's a phone call that you don't hear back from, send me an email and I will make sure that your questions get answered. All right, Marin, I think you're up.
Yes, and I am just going to ride the wave of excitement over the new member portal and the, in a distant future, the new public-facing website for Fias. That is possibly the best news of this meeting. And I'm in the office for just the 4th time since March 17th, so I'm not sure why it's so red. It's kind of red and cold and loud here, so I apologize for any background noise. But I get to introduce the strategic plan. So as an executive team, we've been working to refine the direction and the goals of the organization with 4 main points. Those are to improve access to information, expand member benefits, bring about more opportunities for member recognition and member promotion, and increase membership and leadership within the organization. And to break that down, the first point, to improving access to information, as Jenny just described, the Fias Alliance, the Fias website and the Alliance website will come together into one. It is under active development. And alongside that will be this member portal where we can track, organize member benefits, track projects, follow your professional status, CEU credits, all of that in one place. Easy to find and easy to work through. Point number two, member benefits. You have seen already over the past few weeks, a really great push for an increased number of events. So we have regular monthly events. We'll have webinars these webinars will be collected in a growing library, a resource library that would be a member benefit, so access through the member portal. The office hours that we've had now a few times have been very popular. New topic every month, and just a chance to talk with some of the experts in Fias about different topics, whether that's WIFI modeling, project details. If you have a topic of interest, please shoot that to Jenny and we will try to make one happen relevant to that topic. And upcoming Fias Fireside chats. These will be a little bit less formal discussion, bringing a few different people together on a topic in a virtual setting, of course, and just give you a chance to discuss a topic, ask questions, things like that. We are growing our case study library. So we already have a project database showing all the certified projects with basic outline of information. We are expanding that into a case study library with photos, a little bit greater detail on projects. So this is not only a chance to showcase your certified projects, it's also somewhat of a research library where you can go to find project construction details, products, and systems, see what people are doing in your region as well as across the world on their certified projects. We're looking for project videos also to include in this library. And another benefit is the grant program, which Mary spoke to earlier. Encourage you all to take advantage of that. If you're not near an active chapter and would like to be involved, please let us know and we'll help you develop an idea possibly for that grant program. The third point, increasing membership and developing leadership within the organization. I missed the number of active members that we have right now. Are we around 800?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a goal to increase that to 1,000 active members through newly trained professionals, through bringing people into the organization. Chapter development, as Alan mentioned, we in this new virtual world, we have an opportunity for greater involvement with chapters from a distance. So again, look for the chapter that is closest to you and see if you can tap into those chapter activities. Partner organizations, increasing relationships with like-minded organizations. And then last but not least, growing leadership within the organization, providing more opportunities for a greater number of members to volunteer and to be involved in the leadership of the group. And the last of the 4 points is member recognition. Thanks, Jenny, for the fantastic effort into promoting across the board on social media, different platforms. We've seen Twitter posts, Facebook, I think soon to be on Instagram, all of our events, activities, certifications. She's getting that information out there, announcements, good news, and thanks for that, Jenny. Virtual events, a chance to increase member recognition by allowing members to kind of showcase their projects, their expertise through these virtual events, and eventually hoping to bring those back to real life events. And a more organized effort of sending a welcome email to those who have recently come through the professional training programs, bringing them directly into the organization and getting people involved right off the bat. So that is our strategic plan. If there are any questions or comments on that.
Yes, Maren, one of the, on here, you have like, I guess, detailed videos, et cetera. Can you go into depth more on that?
Yeah, so we're hoping to collect project videos, certified projects under construction. If you can take a project tour, short videos, they don't need to be professional quality by any means. And then we will offer those as a resource library to members. Yeah, so already now, if you log into the Fias website, you can go through the project database of certified projects, and most projects will list mechanical equipment used, window types, building assemblies, things like that. So that's kind of a good way to review what people are doing. But we hope to expand on that and make it more accessible, more user friendly, and especially more videos.
Do we have any other questions about the plan? We are flying through, but that just gives us a little bit of extra time to work on our breakout groups. Alan, do you have anything to say?
Jenny, just to add in, I guess, another question, since we are, kind of ahead of where we are, can you go back one slide? So concerning like social media, I guess, can you expand on, I heard, I guess, Maren was saying we're about to start Instagram, et cetera. Is there plans on supporting potentially large influencers to be able to get the name out?
Yeah. So we have a couple plans. We do have the Fias and the Fias Alliance social media channels. We have the YouTube channel. And then we are working on kickstarting like a monthly newsletter. Right now, most of the newsletters are kind of a little more about events related, but we're trying to bring back in the celebration of people who have projects and people that are working on things. If you are certified or pre-certified at any part of in your project, a congratulations goes out on the Fias channel. And I think too, if members share projects and tag us, or send me an email and say, this is what I'm doing, can you help boost it? Like those are things that we can share. I haven't been spending as much time lately kind of trying to find individuals and find those products. But if you, send me an email or let me know or tag us, then we can help promote different projects and different work that's being done.
So is the goal more internal member, I guess, social reach, or is there a higher level reaching out to public as at large, let's say?
It's both. So the idea is to get more members posting and the recognition of the work that the members are doing to reach that larger audience and engage people about, wait, what do you mean when you say passive house? Or, hey, that project looked really cool. Why is it special? So both.
Okay, so because and the reason that was kind of a loaded question, that
yeah.
I'll give an example. I've had a lot of people from the client side pushing towards using certain types of products like HuberZip and certain things that they've seen on YouTube. I say that all to say, I think if we focus heavily on public at large, that has a trickle down effect, let's call it.
Right. We would just want to promote our members to reach that group at large, Sure. But we are working on it. And it is part of our goals. Spread the word about passive house.
A question about the project database. I work in a real niche kind of area where we're trying to get building certifications into the mainstream of the real estate market through the MLS. Is the database set up so that it can feed an MLS? That really is going to be critical to getting value for efficiency as we move forward.
That's a great question, and I think that's a great idea. I don't believe that's set up that way now. So, boy, if you could, work with us to try to figure that out, I think that would be great.
Jeffrey, can you expand on what you're doing?
Trying to transform the real estate market so buyers and sellers can accurately identify energy efficiency and renewable energy benefits.
Awesome.
Buyers and sellers can do that. That means that the real estate professionals know how to assist them. And currently they are in the minority by a long shot. And failure to get value for efficiency or get the appropriate appraisal for a single project can often hamper or stop a project or have it dumbed down. And it's more likely to happen to a passive house than it is to an Energy Star home or something like that. That we're looking at, boundaries we're looking at.
I'd like to reinforce what Jeffrey's saying. That's an area that we've had a lot of effort, initially in our passive house chapter at the Hudson Valley chapter. And also, we had people from the real estate side come in as officers initially. Our first secretary was a real estate broker. And we've tried to train local realtors in the value of passive house and to differentiate it from the other green things that, you know, are out there. And people don't understand it. They are freaked out by it. And they find that it's really difficult to evaluate. So I think having appraisals that reflect the value rather than the risks, you know, because when it's something that's labeled green, you know, generically, a lot of people really take it the wrong way, and it's and they see that as something that's going to break down, you know, rather than something that's so simple that there's hardly anything to break. So
I'm happy to bring this suggestion forward. I think, and I might be stepping on the bounds, so, you know, council start yelling as soon as you hear something bad. But to do this, we might need a little bit of help. So it will, you know, if we move forward, there might be a committee and there might be an ask of members to help us join this committee to push forward. So I just want to put that out there, that these points are all wonderful, but we also might need a little help moving it forward.
well, there's a good friend to the Passive House chapter, James Gepner, who's lectured at various events. James has done a lot on finance and kind of exposing the value in better performing buildings. Of course, also Tessa had her calculator that was freely available. So I mean, there are some kind of starts to this effort that I think are really great and shouldn't be dropped, you know.
Maybe a potential way to go after that would be honestly on the finance side. So on the banking side would drag along the agents and brokerages. So if we did some version of a like CE type course for mortgage brokers or mortgage loan originators, that's probably where it would start to drag in. Thoughts?
You need the mortgage broker, you need the brokers, you need the appraisers, and you need the lenders. The lenders have been quite difficult the credit unions are better than the banks. The credit unions have been quite difficult, or excuse me, the lenders have been quite difficult. We don't have as good a way to get continuing education requirements met for lenders as we could with appraisers and realtors. But I do think that reaching out by providing continuing education across the country on passive house and how, you know, what the benefits are, and on the appraisal side, what are the tools that passive house provides to the appraiser to appropriately identify contribution of value.
Well, where I am, I'm in Maine, and I always encourage my clients, I'm a builder, to request a green appraisal with their lender. And most of them have done it, and the bank has to accept it, I think. And we've had great luck in the last few years with appraisals coming back, you know, at or above the construction cost. So it is changing for the better. But I totally agree, you know, getting more green appraisers trained and just real estate people in general. Oh, well, appraisers and lenders. Yeah.
You know, another part of this discussion, less on the appraisal side and more on the financial instrument side, might be a discussion with the PACE community, the C-PACE or the R-PACE community. There's a pretty healthy push, at least in the sort of central southern New York State, for greater adoption of PACE, and it requires, you know, a public and a private side cooperation. But you know, that may be a sort of aligned, coincident effort that could, you know, go sort of hand in hand with a push to expand passive house.
All right. Well, I think it's time to break out into our regional groups. And as we do that, I wanted to introduce the other members of the Alliance Council, and they will be the regional reps. They are the regional reps, and they'll be leading the breakout groups. Jenny, could you put that map back up, please?
One moment.
Okay, so starting in the Northeast, John Lorscher, who is part of the Hudson Valley Passive House Group. I live in Maine. I'm an at-large member. Maybe if you can wave so people can see who you are if you don't know John. In the Mid-Atlantic, Mike Cap is that regional rep. In the Southeast, I just met him today, Zane Goodwin. Thanks for coming on board, Zane. In the South is Trey Farmer, and I don't know if Trey is here right now, but if you are, Trey, give a little shout. In the Midwest, Tom Bassadilli is the regional rep.
That's me.
There's Tom. In the Southwest, it is John Avenson.
That's me.
There's John. Okay, also in the Southwest as an at-large member living in Tucson is Jonathan Bean.
Hey there.
In the Northwest, Marin Longhurst, who was speaking earlier. Dan Whitmore lives in the Northwest. He's an at-large member. Oh, jumping back to the Midwest, Mary Rohero, who lives in Ohio. She's an at-large member. And out west in the Pacific is Maggie Kirk.
Hi, guys.
I think that's everyone. Did I miss anyone? Okay.
It's Tom. Tom, aren't you still the regional rep for Midwest?
Yeah, he announced me.
Oh, okay. Missed it. Sorry.
All right. And I think, Jenny, the breakout groups have been preordained by region. And if anyone doesn't get into a group, what do we do?
So when you registered, I know there are probably a few people who didn't register, but mysteriously have the Zoom link. You picked your region before, so you'll be dropped in by region. If you were not, you would have either been messaged or you will kind of be hanging out. And once everyone's assigned, we'll put you in after. I believe that's possible. So I will say, Sarah, take it away.
All right, we do have some predetermined questions that I hope the regional reps all have. If not, it's in an email from Jenny, and you can take a look at those. Then we'll come back later.
Hey, Jenny, mine is inviting me to the Mid-Atlantic breakout room, so that's not correct.
You might be the only one from the Southeast who showed up.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
So that's
And likewise, I'm invited to the Northwest rather than Pacific.
okay. If you want to decline and then message her that you would like to be in the Pacific group. Sarah's under the Fias webinar name.
I'm registered for Fias, but it's not inviting me to a group.
Okay. Hang out for just a second and Sarah will drop in. Where would you like to go?
I'd like to go to the Mid-Atlantic.
Okay.
I think I'm a straggler too.
Okay. And what region would you like to go?
New York.
New York? Okay. So Northeast?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Northeast for me too, please.
Okay. 2 for the Northeast. And then just have a little pick. Oh, there we go. And then I think M or EM is also would like to go to the Northeast. And then if anyone else is left and they don't have a region, let us know, drop it in the chat or.
Hi, this is Tony. I may not have my name in there correctly, which is why I might not have got dumped into the right place.
All right, so we'll dump you in the Midwest, Tony.
Thank you.
And you're under T. Okay.
And I still need to get into the Pacific. This is Ed.
Ed into the Pacific? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Currently, there's a Pacific and Northwest. They're currently combined.
Oh, they're combined?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's not too many.
Okay, so you'll get re-invited to the Northwest, and the Pacific will be there too.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. Sorry about that. And then anyone else? Russell, did you need to be popped into a group? I think Russell is in the Northeast. Jonathan, where do you need to be?
John, although it's just the two of us.
You and
Johnny Evanson.
Oh,
I momentarily got disconnected from the internet. And
So it was just the two of you in the group anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's a small conversation.
So I don't see my picture.
You don't see. I don't see your picture either.
Yeah, John, I think your internet connection may be having some trouble because you sort of froze up there and then came back a little bit and then dropped off.
Yeah. So you guys can hang out because we are going to bring everyone back in about 25 to 30 minutes. Or if you want to join another group, we can put you in another group. But I do have working on a master list that gets updated monthly of active members, which of course we know means people who have paid, not necessarily people who are actively engaging, that we can kind of add to your list. And it might be the same, you might know everyone already and they just haven't come, but it might be able to grab a few more people. So we'll have it broken out by people who chose chapters and then people who are unaffiliated but are still in the region that we'll try and engage.
I would love to join the Hudson Valley group just to see, because they've been doing so well. I would love to sort of be a fly in the wall and see what they've been working on and kinds of questions they're asking. And then I've had another demand in my time, so I'm going to have to leave the meeting at about 4:30. So just want to let you know that it's not anything you said. And
that's fine. I'm sure I was very offensive. Sarah, can you put Jonathan Bean into the Northeast group? And then John, do you want to go anywhere else? Or do you want to hang out with me? Hang on.
Thanks.
Hang on 1 second, John. You're muted. There you go.
I was thinking Dan Whitmore, he has the same issue I do of trying to get members.
Yeah.
Before we go, Jonathan Bean, do you have any thoughts about reaching out to get members?
I think it's really tough right now. I mean, that's why I wanted to go over to the Hudson Valley chapter just to hear more about what they've been doing. So.
Okay. So maybe you and I can join ideas after some other day.
Yeah, I'd be glad to do that.
All right. So Jonathan Bean will get you in the
thanks.
Northeast breakout room. Sarah, is that all right?
Yes, you should be able to join.
Oh, there he goes. And then John, do you want to go to the Pacific Northwest, you said?
Right.
Okay. Great. We'll get that ready to go. Sorry no one came to our party. Thank you so much. All right, so we'll just hang out and then at, I guess, 5:25-ish, 5:20, we'll give them like a 5-minute warning. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, sure. It should, I think it counts down from a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we had more people signed up for the Northwest, but not that many showed up.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Like we ended up with, closer to 50 people, because of course a couple of people signed up 3 times. But I was not, I never know how many people are actually going to come, but 45 at one time isn't so bad. So
yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, great. Cool. The recording is now going to have us talking. We could pause that.